right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Night Live with Nick and LG. I am LG. As always, we got the beautiful Nick.
Beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
Otherwise known as Vic.
I'm gorgeous, also known as Vic.
Also known as Vic. Yes, he's Vic today. But we got a great guest tonight. We've got the drummer from Smash Hit Carnival. We've got Mr. Kevin Dodson. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. It's been a while since I've seen you, man. How are things going for you?
Very busy, even under the circumstances. I'm working on an album in the studio, my own personal thing. Smash It Carnival just hired a new guitar player that is a pretty well-known guy. Worked all over, toured all over. His name's Ian Crawford. And we're kind of changing things up. We're not going to do as much of we were talking about the Devo hat.
Yeah, we definitely talked about that earlier.
Yeah, we're trying to get away from that a little bit.
You know, I know in the past when we met, you were the drummer for Men in the Making.
Yes. Hello.
Check, please. Table 1. I'm assuming that's your phone, Nick.
Yep. Irresponsible.
He's the only guy that doesn't know how to shut his phone off. All right, continuing on.
My bad.
Colin's here. Oh.
Yeah. So you were originally, when we met, you were with Men in the Making, and you guys did what, 50s, 60s style?
Yeah, we were like a 50s, 60s show band. And that's kind of where the whole show thing started. Smash It Carnival was just kind of an extension of that. Right.
Yeah. Well, you call it a show band. Me personally, I call it a performance band. Mm-hmm. And the biggest difference, in my opinion, of course, is with a show band, you come out, you put on a show, right? And what you guys definitely have that on lock. I mean, you guys have done Pig Out in the Park for as long as I can remember. Mm-hmm. And you guys always put on a show. But what I mean by performance is you guys actually dress up. You know, you put on costumes. You put on a performance mm-hmm. during your show. And so in my opinion, I think that's more important. So, I mean, you could take that with a grain of salt if you like. But I've been watching you guys for a long time, and the first opportunity I got to work with you guys was the Chautauqua Fair. If I said that right.
Yeah, Chautauqua.
Yeah, I know I was going to say something. I always screw something up throughout every show.
We played up at Chautauqua all the time. It's when you find out pretty early on that if you want to survive as a musician, you got to do a lot of different things, right? And in the field of live performance, there's one thing being a performer, being able to play really well, play your instrument well and perform. But to entertain just means that, the only difference I see is about $10,000 to $15,000 a year per player. That's all.
Right.
Well,
and like I said, you guys get all the costumes, do all the antics. I remember, I can't remember who your lead singer was. I want to say Chris. Your singer at one point?
The first lead singer was Brad. Brad Walling, and then we had Mike Hines, who's been the singer. He's the singer in Smash Hit Carnival, is no longer.
Oh,
no, he's not in the band anymore. That's why we have Ian. So we have two guitar players now. We have Ian and Jerry,
right?
And we're kind of changing the show up. I don't know how to describe it other than, the costume thing. When you've done that for as long as I've done it, you start to get to a point where you want to
branch out, try something,
veer off and do just music. And that's kind of where we're kind of aiming the new thing more to just playing great music.
Right. Now, are you guys still doing, are you going to still be doing covers, or are you guys going to switch over to doing originals?
It's going to be a little of both. Ian Crawford, has some, a little bit of marquee value. And we're thinking that we're going to be able to do, a little bit better shows, bigger shows. And, for me, the show stuff is real fun. I love it. But the camp of it, sometimes glosses over us as musicians.
Right.
And artists. Like a lot of people think, a lot of people know me as a guy that does a Johnny Cash impersonation, I mean, and I do music and other things,
I get that. Music. I get that. So basically what you're saying is you guys are going to, am I too loud?
No, it's just me and the enclosure effect, all of that low end is just making me feel like I'm.
Well, like I stated earlier, you're used to hearing a speaker for your drums and the guitars. You're not used to hearing just your voice.
Actually, on stage, because I have a click track and run all the sequences, I monitor the sequences locally and have a click, and I do have my voice.
So back to this costume thing, I just had a question that popped in my mind for those who haven't seen your band. Your costume, are you guys just wearing like a random costume, or are you going like a costume for the band that you're covering, trying to stay along those lines?
The bands that we cover. You're familiar probably with tribute bands. Like you can go see a Scorpions tribute band, and everybody dresses up as Scorpions or what have you. If we did Twisted Sister, our lead singer would come out as Dee Snider in the full regalia.
Oh, okay, I got you.
If we did Kiss, we couldn't do all of us because that was that's
way too much.
Logistically, you couldn't work that out, but our lead singer would dress up as that. We did a Devo thing. That's why I was talking about the Devo hats.
Devo hats.
Oh, hey, Harry, how you doing, buddy?
That was not me that time. I did not do that.
I need to put out a memo.
That's Harry Fix, my buddy.
Oh, yeah. Nice. So, shout out, Harry. Thanks for interrupting.
It's like if we're doing a certain artist and they're iconic enough that you can, and sometimes it's parody. Sometimes it's joking. Tongue in cheek, like we're making fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
Come on. Pretty old to be putting a Devo hat on, right? Yeah.
Right.
So you gotta make it funny, somehow, Otherwise, it's like, wow, these guys are taking themselves seriously,
Yeah. At one point, I think one of your guys actually dresses up as Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
Before you guys do.
That was Mike. Yeah, he would do Richard Simmons, sweating to the oldies.
Yeah. That was a
man. You're bringing back some memories, dude.
Hey, that's I've been around you guys for a long time. So.
Yeah, you have actually, LG, and I didn't actually realize that until you got a hold of me for this, and I realized that's the dude from the Roadhouse,
right?
Yeah, DJ,
the DJ,
yeah, saved your light system last year.
Yes.
So speaking of that,
you were there when Jerry, that storm came through. A storm in Norman's, right? Storm in Norman's. A storm came through, but it was just really intermittent and really short, and it came through in really strong winds. And our guitar player hardly ever goes over and jams with Steve, our bass player, but he did at that moment, and that tree came down. The light tree just missed him.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Hi.
Hello. So I wanted to get into it. Last year you guys did the 1 year anniversary for Storm and Norman. That's I think the last time I saw you. And I know you guys were slated to do it this year, which was supposed to be the 8th. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you in.
Right.
Was to not only help promote the band, but also help promote Storm and Norman's. And I found out day before yesterday that is no longer going to happen.
My last conversation with them was, it looked like, in Washington, they've done a complete shutdown of all live music.
Right.
And so it's doubtful. And the night, Friday, they were going to have Jam Shack. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, Jam Shack plays Friday night. We're certainly not playing Saturday night because they'll shut them down.
Right.
Probably. So, we're not. But we are doing Live After 5 in Coeur d'Alene at McEwen Park on Wednesday.
Okay. And what time does that start?
I'm
trying to help promote.
We start at 6.
Yeah.
No, we start at 6:30. I think 6:30 to 8:30. That's what comes to mind.
Just show up at 5.
Just show up at 5. It's live after 5, for the love of God. It's sometime after 5.
Show up at 4:30. You might be safe.
Right. I don't know. No, we're going to play at 7 in the morning. I said,
Whoa.
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't even be up for that one.
Nope, I'm not going.
What is that? The air conditioner you were talking about?
Yeah. Oh, thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
White noise. Right on.
Well,
but it feels good. It feels really good.
Yeah, it does.
Feels good.
It does. So, all right. So you were talking about you guys are switching things up. Are you guys gonna lose? I hate to call it like this. Are you guys gonna lose all the antics?
Maybe not right away. No, I mean, there's still going to be a few things that we'll do for the time being, but I mean, I guess what I'm saying is we're just trying to move into a direction of doing more original and doing the cover thing. We're kind of I don't know, you've probably noticed because you're an audio guy, our production is really important to us and we sound really good. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that whole show thing just glosses that over, you know? And people don't realize, the work that we're putting into replicating the music really, really well. Mm-hmm. At the same time that we're entertaining them. It's the entertainment part of it sometimes overshadows, the musicianship part of it. And, I got a great group of guys. I got a great crew, great musicians,
Right. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
This new guitar player we have has toured with major acts and worked and been in major bands that I can't mention.
Oh.
And so I won't. But, yeah, so
you guys are definitely.
If you look up Ian Crawford, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Because I promised that I know, but I promised that we wouldn't bring that up. So, out of respect to Ian. So, now, going with how many since the whole shutdown? How many shows have you guys actually done?
None. We lost every show in the first quarter of the year. Now we're in the second quarter of the year, and I think we're going to end up doing 2 shows this summer. The boat cruise that we were doing the night before Storm and Norman's is canceled.
Is it? Wow. Now is that just because are they doing something with Idaho? Because I know Idaho.
No, it was a personal choice. Our families, didn't feel comfortable with it. I mean, physics plays a certain role in this. Okay, because you're outside, you're on a boat, and you're moving.
Right.
And there's 100 people, not social distancing, not wearing masks, and they're all
right.
And that's all coming right at us.
Oh yeah, if you're on the back
whole
of the boat,
time that
sure,
we're, the whole time. So, but there was not just that. It was just, it just didn't seem. It didn't seem like a smart thing to do. Very good idea. So. They were very understanding and very cool about it, and we're going to make it up, next year. But they had another band do the same thing. So,
yeah, I wasn't sure if it was because of that or I heard something about them having a plane crash recently.
They did.
Yeah. Do you know anything about that?
What I know is that it was believe it or not, midair collision between 2 planes.
How does that happen?
I have no idea. In such, I mean, that airspace is not like, LaGuardia or something,
Right.
I mean, how did 2 planes crash over the Lake Coeur d'Alene? I know. I don't know that much about it, so I shouldn't comment too much.
Yeah, I know they do air tours, and I was under the impression that one of the air tours was involved, but I don't know where the other plane came from. I don't know if that was also an air tour.
Yeah.
I should have kept up on my local news.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to when you got everything else going on, Besides that, I mean, let's just be real. I mean, our local news isn't really local news anymore,
Yeah.
It's Inslee shutting this down, shutting that down, or it's Trump tweeted this and Trump tweeted that, or it's, something to do with overseas, who shot who and, Seattle shutting down 8 blocks. And
I just want to know who shot Kennedy.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I want to know.
I'm actually, it's kind of funny that you actually mentioned that too, because I'm going to bring this up.
Oh God, here we go.
You know who Oliver Stone is, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay, the screenwriter and
of course.
Okay, so evidently he put something up on Netflix. It's called The Untold Stories of American History.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a docuseries. And
I saw that.
Yeah, I've been
skipped right over it.
Well, of course you did, because you're a millennial and you actually don't give a shit. But it basically it's pretty cool, because it starts out at like World War II, which his dad was a lieutenant colonel, if I can recall, in World War II, and of course Oliver Stone was in the military as well during Vietnam.
Right.
And so basically, he went through and did all this extra research between doing like movies and screenwriting and stuff like that, and finding out like the untold stories that obviously they don't teach us in school, you know, from about World War II all the way up to, I want to say, around Desert Storm. I think I haven't quite gotten that far yet. I'm right in the middle of the Cold War era. But of course they talk about JFK, and we all know it was, you know, there's speculations on that. I've been doing some fun with that. So, you know, as it is today, and it has been forever, you know, certain things fuel conspiracy theories, and people love a conspiracy theory. Oh, absolutely. As long as it's,
and they tend to float out there in the ether. And now, you know, because you have the internet and you have Facebook and the proliferation of all of that, you know, there's a lot of that going around. But I still believe you can find the news if you look. If you look really good for it, you can find out what's really going on.
Right. And I'm all about that. The issue that I have is a lot of the stuff that I see turns out to be clickbait. There's more clickbait out there than there is real news.
You know, the major network news outlets are all, you know, corporate run, you know, so they're not they are not nonprofit, you know. They're trying to make money.
Right.
So you throw that into the mix, and there's going to always be the, you know, the show.
Right.
You know, they're putting on their costumes.
Yeah, basically.
And going out and doing the show. But if you're looking for, you know, information, it's there. I mean, we live in the information age, for crying out loud.
Hey, you just got to get through all the clickbait and bullshit.
You know, I just tell people, you know, trust your soul, trust your eyes, trust your heart. You know, trust your ears. If you're looking really hard, if you're really looking, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
So a lot of DJs and band members, they're starting to do a lot of social media stuff and videos online. Are you guys planning on doing anything like that?
We talked about doing something like that pretty soon. And I mentioned earlier, I'm doing an album. I'm doing my own album right now. And I've worked with a couple of good people on the record. One of them is Adam Holtzman. He was music director and keyboardist with Miles Davis for like 4 years. And he's from New York, and he played two songs, keyboards on two of my songs. And right now he works with the Steven Wilson Band. And I don't know if you guys know about Steven Wilson, but this is the other thing that's weird about being in a show band, right? You know, because my tendencies lean towards progressive rock, or prog rock as they call it now, right? And this record is kind of a lot of that. And Steven Wilson is like the prog guy now. He's like the godfather of new prog or whatever. And he remastered and remixed for 5.1 surround sound, like, you know, and the bands we're talking about are like, you know, Yes, Emerson, and Palmer, Genesis, King Crimson, Kansas, bands like that, right? And he remixed all of those bands and for 5.1. And he's just fantastic. I mean, the mixes are amazing. And anyway, this keyboard player plays with him now. That was a long way to go for really long way to go for that little bit.
No, that was fun. That was some
information.
great name drops, considering
Yeah,
I think I'm
kidding.
the only person that knew every single one of those that you named off.
Steven Wilson, Adam Holtzman. You'll know if you look.
Oh, Genesis was awesome. The one band I never got to see, and I wish I would have.
I saw him. I wish I would have seen him with Gabriel.
You know, I love and respect Gabriel. I personally think he did his best work on his own. And I think when Phil Collins actually started doing the vocals, it changed them for the better. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I respect Genesis with Gabriel because I listened to a lot of that beforehand. But, once they went their separate ways, I actually liked Gabriel more on his own.
I love the solo Gabriel stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Well, leaving Sledgehammer and Big Time out of it, he did another one. It was it's actually kind of a weird one.
Big Time?
No. We're leaving the gimmick ones.
Shock the Monkey?
Those are all gimmicks.
Monkey.
They're good. No, don't get me wrong. They're good. Yeah. And I really enjoyed them, but it wasn't.
I actually thought you were asking about the known songs, but
yeah. Well, actually, it is kind of known. It's like something about the. God, I need to look this up. Hang on. Let me get my phone.
He's going to Google it, folks.
Jacob,
we're Googling.
There, he can.
Oh, he was working on it for a second, and then I think he stopped. So
You're working on it.
No, he did some great work. Yeah, I know. He's doing it back there, and then he'll pop it up there when it's there.
Yeah, look at that.
There we go. Let me see. Solo projects.
Here we go. Well, the WOMAD thing, he went broke on that. So.
Yeah, he did. I just need a song list after he went solo.
I'm sure he's loving.
Biko?
No, that wasn't it. I can't think of the name of the song. It had something to do with like a tree, or it was something different that he would. It was completely off the rails. Kind of like for an example, like Pink Floyd. They had like The Wall and they had all that stuff, and then they came out with Learning to Fly.
Yeah.
Right.
Come talk to me.
Completely different from what they did before, and it was beautiful. And he did kind of the same thing. I'm actually looking through his lists right here.
The only one with the tree I saw was Come Talk to Me.
Well, that was the video, though, or the picture.
Shaking the Tree was an album, not a song. Maybe you were thinking of that.
Man, I can't think of
I wasn't thinking of anything. I don't know.
Salisbury Hill. Salisbury Hill.
Oh, Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill.
Well, that's actually, believe it or not, was also in the pantheon of hits for him.
Yeah.
In the UK.
But that was my point. It was completely different from anything that he had done with the band, and I actually very much enjoyed that. That was actually one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
So, I respect the guy, but like I said, I think he did his best work on his own. Just like with Genesis, I think they did their best work after he was gone.
Well, I wouldn't dispute that at all, because the first thing I remember was not really the first two records he put out, I really loved. It influenced me a lot. But when he did the Security album, and that was like really very innovative because of early use of sampling. Because you had the Fairlight machine back then, which was like the first real sampler kind of thing. And there's a really good thing on YouTube. It shows the making of the Security album with Peter Gabriel. David Lord was producer, and they actually go out in the field and sample stuff, live, and then take it back in, put it in the sampler, and used it. And they're one of the first people to do it. And they're also one of the first to go use all digital, with their CD and production, So it was really innovative album.
Nice. Yeah,
and I love the album. It's a great album.
Yeah, it's definitely one I want to, like I said, I'm a big fan. Like I said, I worked, 8 years doing security at the Gorge Arena Convention Center, Opera House. I've seen a lot of shows, and there's those few that have evaded me, in all the years between there and the Big Easy and doing all the other stuff. And, there's like a set of like 4 bands that I've never seen that I've always wanted to see. Great White being my number one, have to. Skid Row being a second, Genesis, of course. I'd prefer Genesis over Phil Collins, just,
right.
And then I've seen, I can't say Zeppelin because I've seen Page and Plant, but and I've seen Scorpions, Kiss.
I love Kiss.
Kiss is one of those shows that
I
has
heard that name. I'm like, hey, I know that. I know
that band. I know.
I know Kiss and Phil Collins. I'm born in '84, so all this stuff back in the '70s. I'm like, wait, what?
Phil Collins was the original drummer for Genesis. When Peter Gabriel was the lead singer. When Peter Gabriel left, Phil Collins took over the reins as vocals.
Thanks for that education.
Okay, and who's the drummer he brought in? Chuck.
Pointless.
Chester Thompson.
Chester Thompson, yeah.
Chester.
Well, Chuck and Chester. It's close enough. Same thing. The guy's phenomenal.
Oh man, Chester played with Frank Zappa.
Yeah, he's good. He's
actually
good.
the double drummer.
The double drummer.
Yeah, thing they did. They had Ralph Humphrey and Chester Thompson. Yeah. And Ruth Underwood on percussion. So
if you would have saw, I don't know if you saw it or not, but Genesis put out a dual live video, and Chester was there on it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I actually have it in my car.
All right.
Yeah, it's great.
I'll get that from you later.
No, it's just great. They have him in, and so Phil Collins does his own things,
right?
And then Genesis is involved too. I called the guy Father Time. I can't think of his name, but he actually ended up playing for Toto for a little bit.
Bass player?
Yeah, bass player.
Yeah, it's Lee Sklar.
Yeah,
great song.
Lee Sklar is like
nice name drop.
What?
Right?
I said Toto. He said, "Oh, Africa, great song." There's no idea the rest of the songs.
No, only reason why I know Africa is because at Top Hat, at the end of every night, I'd have to play Africa at the end of every night.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're old Top Hat guys. So, but yeah, he actually played with Toto when they played at the Big Easy. So, and they put on a great show. The only downside, the Petrellis, obviously, those guys are phenomenal. The only downside is the guy that actually originally sang Africa was their
genius.
Was their you were right on point. He was I believe he was their keyboard player. And I think he was out with like a shoulder surgery or something. So they had a fill-in. And the fill-in was trying to sing it. And not so good. It really wasn't. I'm sorry. I know he was a great keyboard player, but his vocals were terrible. I don't know if
so Steve Porcaro, you're saying Steve Porcaro was the keyboard player. You're saying he wasn't there?
No, he wasn't. They had a different guy. Like I said, I think he might have been out with like a shoulder surgery, something Steve Perry-ish. The reason why obviously he didn't get back with Journey. But on a side note, Arnel Pineda for Journey,
yeah,
that kid's phenomenal.
I know.
That guy's great. I've seen him live. It was good.
But a lot of those bands that are still going, Foreigner, and a lot of those bands are on Journey, find these guys that can sound just like them,
Oh yeah,
and they just keep going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like perfect example, like Loverboy. They're still touring right now. Well, kind of. I mean, Joey Shalou, of course.
Yeah, I opened for those guys twice, and I met them a couple times.
Never got to see their show. Still working on that one. I already told Joe. He knows. I'm definitely wanting to see him. So.
Shalou. I hear his name all over now.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Everybody,
you never knew who he was until
we had him on here. It's like, man, everybody knows that guy's like, oh yeah, I know him. Oh yeah, he helped me out, got me started. I was like, gee, like he literally knew everyone. In that industry. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, just like with the DJ community being small, the audio community's smaller, and then on top of that, you've got the musicians. Like almost every musician I know has heard of this guy.
I've worked with Joey since Men in the Making days. Actually, Joey ran sound for Men in the Making for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to doing all of the, Paul Rogers and, any of that, the Eddie Money and all that.
Now Loverboy, of course. So,
is that the time?
Yeah, I do that. It's a thing for me. So
it's a thing.
So, where were we? So
LG's lost.
I'm always lost. So, but so you've got a show coming up Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're talking about like 6-ish. I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Where's the location?
It's at McEwen Park in Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
And a lot of people know about the Live After 5 events. They've been around now for a while, and I think some people know. I will probably start putting something out on the Smash It Carnival Facebook. Our website's not happening right now because we're switching over. We're not Mike anymore. We've got Ian.
Right.
And is that all ages things? Are there like food vendors, food trucks?
Yeah. It's pretty cool actually because you can bring the kids and everything, and they've got a big open space and food and all that, and
kind of like a mini pig out in the park kind of thing.
Yeah, in fact, that's what Tyler's trying to do. Tyler Davis runs that Live After 5, and he's trying to kind of, expand the, because he brings in, some of the majors too now, because for a long time it was just, pig out,
right?
Pretty much locally.
All right, brother. I think that's gonna wrap us up.
I'm sorry it was so exciting.
Oh yeah, no, you were great, man. Thank you very much for coming on, man, and hanging out with us. And you guys make sure you check out that show in Coeur d'Alene on the 13th. We'll get you some dates a little further down the road. Try to help support these guys in their venture and see how big we can make them. So I'm LG. It's Nick. It's Mr. Kevin Dodson. You have a good night. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.